Thank you, my friends. I have to say first, you are my teachers. As the ancients insist, everyone we meet is our teacher. And to have so many fine teachers here who are ready to share your heart's truth, it is very, very touching and always an education to come to these. So I thank you. First thing I want you to see is I want you to see this picture behind me. This is from the poem The Temperature of Space. Take a look. What it essentially is two little astronauts floating out there in space with a giant thermometer. And you'll learn more about that in a minute. Before I start my poetry, I do want to tell you a quick story that will give you a little bit of insight into some of the amazing things that I've had the good fortune to experience. I was teaching meditation for a while in an ashram in Hollywood, Florida. And one of the people that I had used his work so much and had gotten so much myself was Baba Ram Das, also known as Dr. Richard Alpert. A wonderful, wonderful person who brought together East and West psychology, philosophy, and Eastern techniques. Had a wonderful book. Many of you I know have read Be Here Now. I was teaching from Be Here Now, and I heard that Ram Dass was coming to Miami. Now, Miami, on the one hand, is capital of concrete and plastic and cheesy everything, and yet here's Ram Dass. He's coming. Okay, so we all rushed to the local occult bookstore to try to buy tickets. I mean, literally the day we heard, and you know what? They were already sold out. So we thought, oh my God, what can we do? What can we do? And I chased down the phone number of the people managing and producing the show, and they said, well, we're going to hold a few tickets. So the entire group of people that I was working with, we had about 15 people. They said, oh, we're all going to go. So we all hike from Hollywood, Florida, down to Miami. We're going to be there for Ram Dass. And since the tickets were going to go on sale at 1 o'clock, we thought we'll go at 9 a.m. We'll go, we'll chant Om, we'll have a circle. It'll be great. We'll build up so much energy that wonderful things are going to happen. It'll be amazing. So we did. We went down there, and at the Unitarian Universalist Temple in downtown Miami, we're sitting there, and we're chanting Om, and we're chanting Om, and we're chanting Om. And if you've done some chanting, a group of people, after they've done this for a while, the energy just resonates, that the whole space around this door was it was amazing. Okay, so people begin to gather, okay, because there's other people who want to go. So the crowd begins to gather, and we're sitting there up by the front door. We're first in line. We're chanting Om, and some people would join in. Some people were just amused, and that's okay. Well, finally someone arrives to sell tickets, and I walk over there and I said, hey, listen, we're so happy to be here. My gosh, we really want to buy. We need 15 tickets. They said, oh, listen, I'm really sorry. There was so much demand. We sold out. And unfortunately, for some reason, the fire marshal's really being a stickler. They're not letting us to sell one more seat. I'm really sorry. That's too bad. And now some of the people who came with me, some of my students said, oh man, that's really a ripoff, man. Like, damn, we came all the way down here 50 miles. We drove. I said, well, listen, I'm going to stay and I'm going to continue to chant Om. And maybe, who knows, maybe something amazing will happen, because I have seen, my dear friends, I have seen amazing things happen all the time. Things that should never have happened, things that just, the moment was right. So we sat back down and we're chanting Om. Well, another amazing thing happened. A friend of mine, another yoga teacher, a woman who styled herself as Om Susanna. Om Susanna walked over to me and she said, Rick, I just got back from Arizona. We were spending some time with some brujos out there, with some medicine men, and they gave me a gift of their collection of some peyote buds. Would you like a peyote bud or two? We said, oh, absolutely, because we had included psychedelics in our meditation. We've made it part of our sacrament. Many of you have, I know. Some of you may feel otherwise, but that's all right. That's all right. So we end up chewing some peyote, which of course really, was nice. Okay, So we're chanting Om and we're chanting Om, and then noon comes by eventually, and then 1 o'clock comes by eventually. And it's going to start at 2, and everybody then files in, and we're still sitting out there, and we're still chanting Om, and everyone's gone inside. It's just us. We're down to maybe a handful of people still chanting Om because miracles happen. Well, the next thing that happens is Dr. Ram Dass comes walking down the sidewalk. There's this incredible figure, tall, thin fella in Buddhist robes walking down the sidewalk, and he stops and he joins in. And he said the kindest thing. He said, I've been greeted a lot of places, a lot of really neat ways, but this is really cool. Really, I mean, this is just, let's go in. And we said, well, sir, you see, there's no room in the inn. He said, well, just wait a minute. I'm going to go in there. Let me see what I can do. He walks in. We're still chanting Om. We're still chanting Om. He comes back out and he's got the manager in tow, and they're like, well, I'm really sorry, Ram Dass. There's just nothing can be done. It's just impossible. And he said, I've got an idea. You people, come with me. He led us in. We satsang with him on the stage. That was a grace moment, Okay. And I know those things have happened for you too. Thank you for being here with me for a minute. And we're going to read some poems. I'm bringing some older work, much of which I don't think you've heard yet. And this first thing is The Temperature of Space. But before I read that, since so many of you, like me, have thought about the world that we live in, the world's inside us. And this first one's called There Is No Ultimate Question. If there was an ultimate question, there could be an end to time's double bend. The spiral helix of when could hardly ever again expend to its friends its hopes or its plans or suggest what it really intends. No equation ever stops. It hops on and on and on, namelessly, ceaselessly beating, tail-chasing headaches, the heartaches created by those even counting on toes could hardly suppress just one end by a question of morals. The florals lament, what of the end of events? No ceasing, increasing the doubts in cautious amounts, uncertainty rising a constant career, his manners while wheedling would blow in your ear to suggest you insist on when. New horizons of fame, an unlimited game, even infinity gets tired and hires a cab. Calls from his prefab, close his manicured lawn with its large cement fawn. How tacky of infinity, how shameless and hatelessly breaking bounds of good taste, how misbegotten on fate, he was more than a little late. But the last question never bothered coming because he's always next. Bottle bothered, but after living so long to next to never to, there is no ultimate question. And now, my friends, for those of you who wondered, what the hell? Okay, I will read you a little piece called The Temperature of Space. Now, before we go there, I want you to imagine yourself an astronaut. You've gotten your heavy, cumbersome environmental suit on. You've gone through the airlock. You're out there. You're out there floating next to your satellite, and they've asked you to determine the temperature of space. Now, any of you who lived a science life once in a while know that what you measure and how you measure leaves your thumbprint in the experiment. So here we go. The temperature of space. Hold a thermometer. Hold it out in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. Hold a thermometer. Hold it out in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. How dark or clear the knot in place. The shade from yonder star held scintillating from afar in the bright and burning day cleave the darkness as if to say, hold a thermometer. Hold it out in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. That's go place, no place for heat or cold. Or am I too bold? Am I? Damn I, the fool's gold in the Fort Knox of your dreams. Hold a thermometer. Hold it out in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. Hold a thermometer. Hold it out in space. How cool and smooth the knot in place. Thank you. Okay, now this next one, as you know, I am inspired so much by human spirit, by human bravery, by those incredible gestures that so many of us make in our little lives, in our big lives, on the smallest stage of our dining room, on the largest stage of our nation. This is one of those moments. This is something I call young man before a tank. You remember that scene in Tiananmen Square where a single person stood up against a line of tanks? Now, that doesn't always work. It doesn't always work out right. We know Rachel. But this is that one moment, and I want to share it with you. Young man before a tank. He stood there at the edge of the square, one true man, stand, before a standing tank powered by honor, not armor, by truth. Misused in bloody glory, one thin man stands and blocks the army tank. Do you think? Thank you. This is my theme piece. This is called Warm Calculations. You know, we all make a million calculations every day. You know, whether it's the groceries or what do we watch or who do we talk to or what phone call we accept. And I was thinking about this one day and I thought, you know, my God, we have in our days, in our lives, in our time, in our person space, we have to make these calculations. And this is a thought about that. Warm calculations. How much love? How much time? How much warmth allowed to climb over the wide walls of shelf of self? How dare the eyes, indeed the lip, needs the seeds replaced to fill this space between the loves in family time, the subtle balance, slippery climbs, some time for friends in arguments allure, the natural never whirl, choices swerve, judgment steps on tentative, representative words, whose ideas hurdle tipsters, tiptoe turtles on weighted, cautious moments. Outside, the fence frequents events volcanic, foments revolt of love, measured, mastered, cast that play faster. Could we compare two weaving, leaving doves to loves to flowers' fine half-argued choice? From child to child, from friend to find, 1,000 billion words, choices heard, without repose of time relent. This soulful face, replaced with bastard wine, despise, deriding time. Decisions erased in human long division, villain time, in tandem tug with spurious space replaced, content to tear, arming hearts with alarming arts. Past all metallic strain, electric thumps, hide the signing sighs in tearful throated lumps. Love's web soft embrace, dewy prisms paint green leaves in light. Wild heart, smile delight, weigh the hours. On thine eyes' tender scales, the whales of depart art. Weigh the hours, count the blooded hours, alone unphoned peace. Counting time, ridiculous, sublime, of wasted water, tasted running down danger's cheeks on clouded, downcast lane. Wasted moments, monuments to independent moods, in brewed pitch, the scalding broth, the sloth's sad plight. indeed schism, indecision's muddy mirror. Count the time, hurtled corpse recline, measured, mastered, time, the wild and woolly miles of wiles, treasured kisses, break out blisses, thundered caress yearning, the sky, the sky, the sky is burning by memories aflame. What was the name? Balanced by the greater graphs of past. Calculators barely scratch my memory's sleeve, yet I grieving caught, catching, retching wet wretches, choice chance to dance the waltz of shadowed romance. Mental waves wash over graves of history's mystery. Mental waves wash over graves of history's mystery. Mental waves wash over graves of history's mystery. Ring round the royal relativity of life. Remember the ritual brother's virtual wife. Echo the favorite uncle's strife. Cancel the baby brother's new lover clover wife. Form calculations. And so many of us, you wouldn't be here if you weren't caring about the world, about people. This is one of my environmental pieces. It's a newer piece. Some of you have heard it, I'm sure. It's called Bycatch Wastage. Someone I hold very dear recently went out on a shrimping boat for part of a season, and he was amazed by how much to get those few shrimp, how many other sea creatures lost their lives. And it's heartbreaking. It really is. I had some friends in the fishing business, and they used to talk about it. That well, I think you get the idea. So this is called bycatch wastage. I was recently told a story about shrimpers in their sea ride bouncing glory, living out at sea for long months, 2 or 3, always on the go, rushing ever the boat goes so slow, trawling always, great nets set, charming the sloppy seas, chugging, rolling, roiling through the waves, ever toiling scruffy between the fretted nets, these mobile graves, dragging in the harvest tons. But yet little keeping, seeping, so much done and sleeping. I was reminded they call it bycatch. All those dead sea creatures snatched, which will never find a use, a trail of once sea life, now refuse. So much bycatch, we're told and sold, to find those scraggly, cronied nuggets of gold. The tiny little shrimp into a great 50-pound bag was sent and chilled them quick, our willful iced intent and stick. This marine decapod crustacean, long sought our table's dish, its destination. By trawlers it's captured later, and the glassine goblets devoured, raptured. To catch this tiny thing, so much wastage does it bring from the trawler, after all, a raining trail of corpses sink to fall, just to add to that awful toll. The blinkered lost biota think, the trail of broken shards and sharks and shells and crabs the deep once hath dwelled, leaving now their raining bodies sadly pounced and poured, to see this sinking, stinking tale of death, that we of a cocktail might not be bereft. And to stay for another minute on an environmental issue. Now, some of you, there's so many environmental catastrophes. They almost roar by, and we don't remember them. But there's some of them that really stick, and this is one that I think got a lot of people's attention. And even though it's something very old in a way, the problem remains. There is a huge dump just north of where we live now, and and our friends, the fellow people who live near this tragic soup, they've been offered some perfume. Hey, no problem. We'll just spray a scent on it and everything's okay. So this is a piece about that sort of thinking. This is called Love Canal. Love Canal. Love Canal. Wait a while. Feed the coins into the slot. People matter? Probably not. Big bucks singing, politicians fling cares away. Toxics play beneath your feet. Ain't it neat? With your breath to your death. Toxics bleed from stream to seed. People count? Small amount. Chemical companies high on profits up, with politicians in corner pocket cups. Ask their favorite scientists why. The rain has blackened in the sky. Why air kills birds and hasty words can cancel kill. The federal fill, the bureaucrats swill, but it's okay. They'll go away. Noisy people become dead people fast enough. Ooh, nasty cough. Feed the coins into the slot. People matter? Probably not. Sure, the cost of carrying's high and rusty drums pile to the sky, while renegade truckers dump the mix of dirty tricks on unsuspecting victim Hicks. Really, some poor fool's backyard. Not to worry. Big money's wad's got the nod. It won't reflect on ledger sheet. Chromosomal change or brains derange. Change the claims reassurance. Same. Some must die for stocks to fly. Fix fertilizer from hand to eye, from rain to brain, calling loud. Breaking children, crying crowds point to laws that safely print and grind your eyes into a squint to find it hides in smallest print. It's all okay, so go away. People matter? Probably not. 50-gallon drums will melt. Is that the funky thing we smell? Wells with fevers neath their belts. Unwells will catch you with your jeans dropped down unless you walk above the ground. And your drinking water's never been found the need of chemist greed. It's safe. They'll bury the bones in your neighbor's escape. You needn't relate. It's fate. Love Canal's far away from here today. Don't petition. Don't even pray. Love Canal. Wait a while. Feed the coins into the slot. People matter? Probably not. Confirm with a mushy promise what's upon us. People crying, children dying. Feed the coins into the slot. People matter? Surely Todd. Thank you, my friends. And Dave, do I have time for one more? Okay.
Yes,
This is
indeed.
thank you, brother. Thank you. This is my encore piece, and I want you to transform. Okay, you're no longer a poet sitting in your studio. I want you to change. I want you to be a flying golden bee, setting out for the harvest, setting out to collect from these beautiful iridescent flowers food for your hive. This is called Follow Me, Oh My Golden Bees. Up, up and out of our glowing geometric home, our perfect living comb to every bee's dream, our theme and gentle fanned rest. Up and out into the sacred sun-drenched garden, every aromatic flower's face, warmed by your gentle golden touch. See the arcing blessed ray, how each reachy beam buffets with its gentle caress every moment of life's growing flight. How every flower shines and shimmers with that very moment of your warm and generous blessing's heat. How rich the velvet gold flower showers her blessing and casts its spell of warm sympathy that the dear plants so thirsty drink. And endear, moment by moment, into every fiber of being. Shine on, my sparkling silver wing, thy embracing warmth that does guide and bless all of the earth with its gentle, loving breath. Light our way with your warm, buttery blessing. If only for thy dancing rainbow light we have found our path illumined across the delirious scented garden and then diving deep into the very hearts of heaven's blossom. Each beating, magnetic moment of your starfire pulsating embrace thrills our very blood with your infinite golden reach. Deep, deep will I dive into each flower's living heart while they dress me and dance me in their sweetness perfume. Your gentle bounty on all of us below warms us and delights every moment of our dazzling, bejeweled journey's path. Finding a way across thy beneficent begarland glory, rich with your weighty golden handiwork, grant us, we buzzing toilers, grant us that sweet sustenance from your scented, intoxicating, and so generous beams, great bounty, diving deep from our arcing, soaring path, down, down into the deepest flowery center, guided ever by those reaching, impenetrating beams. Each iridescent, beating flower heart pulses in an intoxicating bounty of amber sweet beads of dangerous delight. Cover us in your fine powered glory as we drink in these pretty flower fountains, nourished ever from your streaming, generous heart. I fairly swoon and sway, so bedecked am I from your amorous scented embrace. Carry we home our golden booty from the very shining flower's heart. Back, back to our dearest sweet and golden glowy home, deliver we out our charge of grace, pour we out each journey's bounty. Lifted from our labors to your scented, richly favored fruit, sunbeam guided, every flying moment by your intimate and distant reach, fiery licking power, our great home, but the geometric shadow of your gold and glancing bounty. Our innermost strength only flows from your vital power's truth. No flowers shine in glory except through your showering glory spent. We return, rich and happily burdened by your gracious garden's gifts, to soar, guided and gilded by our great sun's powerful blessing. O great and golden sun, whose unblinking power guides and warms our flighty path, and ever richly rains her golden blessings on every garden's shining face. Light, O ever light thou our airy road, and be forever our endless fountain of starry grace. In starfire we live, in starfire we are warmed, in starfire we are fed, in starfire we are ever guided. Thank you, my friends.